My husband never told me why he went no contact with his mother, so I had them meet up for a surprise. Now he might go no contact on our marriage. To start, my husband and I have been married for 6 years now. He's always been the fun guy, always laughing and making me laugh, always seeing the bright side of things. However, one thing that bothered me was that I never knew much about his family. His father passed away when he was little, and he has little relationship with his mom. I'll keep this short. 4 months ago, I looked up his mom on social media and found her. I sent a message and she replied. We chatted and met up. Turns out she doesn't live very far from us. She knew all about me and her son because she kept an eye on him on social media. We became friends, and I filled her in with details about our lives. I asked her why my husband went no contact with her. She refused to tell me why if my husband didn't tell me, just said it was all her fault and she's ashamed of it. I proposed to try what I could to help them reconcile, and she agreed, even if she was reluctant at first. In the following weeks, I tried talking to my husband about his mother and what happened between them, but he always changed the topic or shut me down. When my mother-in-law asked me how it was going, I told her things were progressing, and I was working on it. Last week, I decided to try and have them meet up so maybe we could spend Easter together. I invited my mother-in-law over before my husband would be back from work so we could surprise him. She was a bit unsure about this and said she wasn't comfortable surprising him like that, but I reassured her. I thought that any emotion my husband could have would be better cooled by a hug. Spoiler alert, my mother-in-law was right. My husband came home, and after the initial shock wore off, he started yelling like I never heard before, telling her to get out immediately. She just grabbed her coat and stormed out. Afterwards, my husband told me to get out too when I explained what I had done. He didn't yell at me, but his voice was cold and almost emotionless. I've been staying at my sister's since. My husband won't take my calls. My mother-in-law cried on the phone and asked why I lied like that, as she thought I talked to my husband and prepared him for the visit. Now she stopped taking my calls as well. I know I have screwed up big time, and I see now what a massive dork I've been. How can I fix this? I want to apologize to my husband for what I did and maybe find out why he has no contact with his mom. Update 1. The last weeks have been rough, but we might be okay. My husband opened up about the reason he cut off his mother, and many of you were right. It was vile intimate actions, not from his mother, but his stepfather. They were engaged, and his mom was pregnant with his child when the guy started giving my husband attentions. My husband went to his mom, but she shut him down, accusing him of being jealous and wanting to spoil her happiness. This went on until his mother came home from work unexpectedly and walked in on the guy giving attention to my husband. She kicked him out, pressed charges, and annulled their engagement, but the damage was done, and my husband no longer trusted her. She also lost the baby due to stress, and although she never blamed my husband for it, he felt it was his fault. All this felt like a gut punch for me, first for what he went through, and then because now I am the person who shattered his trust. He said he did consider divorce over this but pretty bluntly said that he thinks my actions were out of stupidity rather than malice, and he wants to work things out. I'm committed to doing my best to become a better and safer partner for him. I know I have this stupid and selfish tendency to think that I often know better than him, but I have to get over it because it hurt him massively and almost imploded our relationship. I don't want to be another person he trusted and ended up hurting him. He also decided to reach out to his mom and start talking to her again. He's not sure they can repair the relationship, but he wants both of them to find some closure. Update 2. Hi everyone, it's been about 6 weeks since my original post. My husband is doing better, and our relationship is slowly getting back to what it was. I know it will take a lot of time to repair the damage I caused, but I am willing to give him all the time he wants and do anything he asks of me. The bitter irony of this whole story is that he told me he had been thinking about reaching out to his mother, but on his terms and time. By going behind his back, I almost destroyed that chance of reconciliation and imploded our marriage. I am working on myself and will start seeing a therapist next month so I never do something like that ever again and, more importantly, never betray his trust again. Also, with my husband's knowledge and consent, I apologize to my mother-in-law for leading her on with false promises, and she has forgiven me. As for him and his mother, they started talking to each other, have met a couple of times in public, and yesterday my husband invited her over for dinner so that, in his words, we all can try to start over properly. She's a very sweet woman and she's eager to reconcile with him and get to know me. My husband said that for now, he wants all of us to get a bit used to each other, then he and my mother-in-law will get to work on their traumas, his words. He says she's not the villain in what happened, but he needs to come to terms with her poor decisions and his own feelings of guilt for her losing her baby. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, is very apologetic and extremely sorry about what happened, in my husband's opinion, sincerely so, and doesn't blame him at all for the miscarriage. As for me, I just sit aside and do my best to rebuild the trust with my husband and become a better and safer partner. He started being affectionate with me again, and we are no longer on thin ice, but I can't stop thinking I almost lost him because I thought I knew better than him.